Hey fellow problem solvers, Colfax Math here. Today is a practice exam for the International Baccalaureate SL Math Analysis and Approaches exam. This is for paper 1, topic 4, probability and statistics. This isn't very similar to many other standardized exams. This again is specifically for the IB math exam, and I'm covering topic 4 in this. It is SLAA. Okay, with that said, make sure you have paper and pencil out in front of you. Pause the video, do the problem before I do it, unpause the video, and watch how I do it. I'm not really teaching ideas here. This is really more an overview of what the exam's going to be like. This is a short answer, no calculator portion of the exams on probability and statistics. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Make sure you have paper and pencil out, pause the video, give this one a try, unpause, watch how I solve it. Okay, number 1, in a Venn diagram, it means I have a big rectangle like this. I have one thing which is A and another thing which is B. The two overlap. The union of both is 0.8 and the intersection is what I'm looking for. A is 0.6 minus x. Intersection we'll call x. B is 0.5 minus x. I'm going to add all three of these together. 0.6 minus x plus x is just 0.6 plus 0.5 minus x. That's all of them combined, which is the union, is equal to 0.8. 1.1 minus x equals 0.8. Bring the x onto this side, the 0.8 onto that side. 1.1 minus 0.8 is 0.3. The intersection is 0.3. Make sure I'm solving the correct portion of the problem. Find where they intersect. Correct answer, answer D right there. Did you get that one right? If so, let's move on to number 2. If you're not getting these right, probably means you have to go back and study a little bit more on probability and statistics. Okay, number 2, pause the video, give it a try. The weights of players in a sports club are normally distributed with a mean of 75 kilograms and a standard deviation of 8. So that means I am given mu, or mean, of 75 with a standard deviation of 8. Those are my givens. Find the probability that a randomly chosen player weighs more than 83 kilograms. This normal distribution is telling you it is a bell curve. The mean right here is 75. I am asking how much is more than 83. I know that it is exactly 1 standard deviation away. I need to know my empirical rule here. That is saying that within 1 standard deviation of the mean, within 1 standard deviation of the mean is 68% of the population, leaving a total of 32% for both tails. Half of 32 is 16 and 16. And it is saying more than that 83. It's going to be 16%. Answer C right there. Remember that empirical rule is 68, 95 for 2 standard deviations, 99.7 for 3 standard deviations. Let's move on to number 3 here. A set of data has a Pearson's product moment correlation coefficient, a lot of words, or an R value of negative 0.85. Which of the following best describes the correlation? Strong positive, well that is negative. Strong negative, that could be it. No correlation, there's clearly correlation. Weak negative, that's not it. So correct answer is answer B, strong negative correlation. The closer to 1 or negative 1, the better the fit. The closer to 0, no correlation at all. Positive would be positive correlation. Negative would be negative correlation. 3 for 3 so far. Jump to number 4 here. Which of the following must be true for the line of best fit y on x to be used as a reliable prediction? So we're on bivariate data, y on x. I have my line of best fit like that. The data contains many outliers. That would mean poor fit. That can't be it. The prediction is made using interpolation. I'm inside of my boundaries, and the R is close to 1 or -1. That would be good fit. Let's read the other. Prediction is made using extrapolation outside of my boundaries. That can't be it. Correlation coefficient R is close to 0. That would mean no fit at all. Only answer that works. Answer B right there. 4 for 4 so far. Get a little bit harder. Okay, number 5, pause the video, give it a try. A bag contains 5 red and 3 blue. So I have 5 red and 3 blue marbles. 2 marbles are drawn at random without replacement. That both marbles are red. So I want the probability of red and then red. That's going to be multiplication. But this is the important word, without replacement. So probability I get 5 out of that 8 on the first draw would be 5/8. There are no longer 5 marbles in that bag. There are only 4 left out of 7. So the probability I get red and then red would be 5/8 and then 4/7. Multiply across the top, 20. Across the bottom, 56. I don't see that anywhere there. I'll reduce that fraction, 10 over 28, 5 over 14. Answer A is correct answer. Right there, checking to see if you know what the word replacement or without replacement mean. 5 for 5, 100% so far. Okay, problem number 6. Pause the video, give this one a try. For a continuous random variable z, following standard normal distribution, that's telling you it's a bell curve, n is of the set 0 to 1. Find the probability that z is between -1 and +1. It's right here in the middle, mu, sometimes seen as x bar is our average. I am saying I am 1 standard deviation away to the left, 1 standard deviation away to the right. What is the probability that I'm in here? We know that's going to be that 68%. Correct answer, answer C right there. All right, moving right along. Box and whisker plot of a data set. Shows the median is 20, quarter 1 is 15, quarter 3 is 30. What is the interquartile range? Well, that's just equal to Q3 minus Q1. It's really a vocab question more than anything else. Q3 is 30. 30 minus 15 is 15. Interquartile range. Answer B, 15 right there. Oops. Move on to number 8. For 2 events A and B, it is given that the probability of A is 0.3, probability of B is 0.6, and then this is conditional probability. The probability of A given B is 0.4. Find their intersection. This one's a little tricky. You need to know the equation. The probability of A given B is equal to the probability of A intersects B divided by the probability of B. This is in your formula booklet, so you can find it there. But that's a good one to know. It's a conditional probability. So let's see if I have 2 of these 3 pieces. I think I do. The conditional probability is 0.4, so that 0.4 goes there. I am looking for this. I'm going to call it X. And the probability of B is 0.6. One ratio equal to another proportion. I cross multiply and get X is equal to 0.24. Correct answer, answer A right there. 8 for 8. Okay, problem number 9 right here. A discrete random variable y has the following probability distribution. The probability of y is 0.2. Probability of y equaling 2 is 0.3. Probability of y equaling 3 is 0.5. So I'm saying the probability of it being 1 is equal to 0.2. Probability that y is equal to 2 is 0.3. The probability that y is equal to 3 is 0.5. Calculate the expected value. So first off, I do note that these are all possible probabilities because it adds up to 1. I'm going to do 1. The event itself, the payout, is going to be what it is, times the probability of it. So probability of the event, which is the payout of the event, 1 times 0.2 is 0.2. 2 times 0.3 is 0.6. 3 times 0.5 is 1.5. I sum the probabilities to get 2.1, 2.3. Correct answer, answer B right here. You can see why this might be a good thing to review. A lot of this is really just decoding the words. So that's problem number 9. Are you still 9 for 9? Let's keep going. We have 5 more to go. Number 10, the regression line of y on x is given with this model. If the mean of x is 4, so the mean of x is 4, what is the mean of y? Well, I could just take that value of x, plug it into my model, and solve for the mean of y. So I take 4, plug it in here, 2.5 times 4 is 10. 10 and 10.2 is 20.2. Correct answer, answer B right there. 10 for 10, 100%. All right. So my words in this multiple choice problem barely fits on the page. Which of the following describes a situation where a binomial distribution would not be appropriate? Binomial, 2 outcomes, success or failure. Counting the number of heads in 50 tosses of a fair coin. Well, either it's heads or not heads, that would be binomial. The number of correct answers on a 10-question multiple choice test by random guessing. Well, there's not going to be 2 outcomes here. It could be answer A, answer B, kind of like this test, C or D. So this is not going to be binomial. So this one won't be it, but let's read the others. Selecting 5 students from a class of 20 without replacement and counting the number of girls, girl or not girl. Recording the number of defective bulbs in a large shipment. So that's going to be defective, not defective. All of those are binomial, except for answer B right there. Correct answer for number 11 is B. Move this up to number 12. In a set of 11 data points, the mean is 8. So I got 11 data points with an average of 8. An additional point with a value of 20 is added to the set. What is a new mean or the new average? Well, I have 8 data points. No, I have 11 data points with an average of 8. So the weight of all of those together will be 88. I now have a new data point of 20. I add 20 there to get 108. So the sum of the 12 values would be 108, right? So I have 11 plus that 1 of 20. I have 12 values. 108 divided by 12, 108 divided by 12, right? 11, 8, 120. 108 divided by 12 is 9. Correct answer, answer D, right there. All right, getting to the close here. Moving on to problem number 13. Here I have a set of data, one value and then the next value on and on to the nth value, has a standard deviation of 4. If every value in the set is multiplied by 3 and then 5 is added to each result, what is a new standard deviation? So we don't have any values. Let's see if we can figure this out. Let me just pick 3 values. Let's say 7, 10, and 13. I'm just making these numbers up. This average right here would be 10 with a distance of 3 between them. Every value in the set is multiplied by 3. So this would now be 21. This would now be 30. This would be 39. I can see the distance between here is increased threefold, right? From 3 to 9, from 3 to 9. Now I add 5 to each result. 26, 35, 44. The distance here is still 9. The distance here and here is 9. What is the new standard deviation? Well, if it went from 3 to 9, the overall distance, it increased by a magnitude of 3. But then by adding, it didn't change the magnitude of it. So it just increased when I multiplied by a magnitude of 3. The new standard deviation would be 4 times 3 or 12. Answer C. One last problem here before I go there. If you're new to the channel, think about subscribing. This is all about math test success, so you can be as successful as possible on a standardized math exam. This, again, specifically is for any stats exam. It'll help you on AP stats, but it is kind of specifically done for paper 1 of the IBSL analysis and approaches exam. So with that said, let's go to problem number 14 right here. And pause the video, give that one a try. Unpause, watch how we do it. Group of 30 students, 18 study physics, 15 chem, and 5 neither. Sounds like a Venn diagram problem. So right here, I have 30 total students, 18 study physics, 15 study chem. So I'm going to call this 18 minus the intersections here, the intersections x, 15 study chem, and 5 study neither. Find the probability that a student selected at random studies both physics and chem. Well, that means we want to figure out what x is. I have 18 minus x plus x. That's just 18 plus 15 minus x plus 5 equals 30. 18 plus 15, 33, plus 5, 38, minus that x equals 30. I'm going to bring the x over here to get x. And then I'm going to bring the 30 over here to get 8. The intersection is 8. That would be 10 here, 7 here, 15 or 25, 30. That works. So it's asking for the intersection out of the total. So the intersection is 8 out of 30. Correct answer is answer D. And there's no reduced fraction. That would be a better answer. So there it is, answer D. If you have any questions at all, please post them in the comments. Good luck on your IB math exam.